can you share with everybody how much money you made last month?
Last month, I made $11,200.
$11,200. If you watch this entire video, you're gonna learn her very best tip to give a signing agent. You can learn her journey and her biggest regrets so you don't make the same one. Hello, my name is Mark. I am the largest signing agent coach in America. And I've taught over 50,000 people how to make money as loan signing agents. Speaking of which, we have loan signing agent Guadalupe out in the great state of Arizona. Guadalupe, how are we doing today?
Doing wonderful.
When,
Little
when
nervous, but I'm doing good.
let's go. So when you say I made $11,000 last month, what emotions go through your body?
A lot of different emotions. I didn't think that I was going to be able to reach that, but I set my mind to it and I accomplished it.
What are you on pace to make in 2024?
2024, I am going to hit my first 100K in life history.
$100,000.
Mm-hmm.
First time in history, is that what
In
you just
history,
said?
yes.
So when you say that, like, how does that make you feel? Like you're about to be $100,000 a year business owner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk to me. Like, how does that feel saying that out loud?
It feels amazing. Like I'm super proud of myself. Like I've came too far and I'm not stopping yet.
So tell us your background and let people know that, if Guadalupe can build this business, anybody can.
Yeah, I mean, coming from my mom, from her, seeing her working so much all the time, working two jobs, trying to make eats mean just try to support us. It was four of us, two brothers and two my sister. Just watching her work all the time is like I don't want to be like that all the time. And actually, me being a single parent too, I had four kids myself. I used to work two full-time jobs to pay rent, put food on the table, struggle so much just to support my kids. Now they're grown up adults and it's like I want them to be proud of me, be
Mm.
proud of their mom and how far I've gone.
Well, let's talk about that. And thank you for sharing that. I mean, working two jobs, and for the record, I know they were proud of you regardless what you did because you were mom, and that work ethic that you have, they've instilled in them, I'm sure of it. How do they look at you now that you're in this position of having $100,000 a year business?
They just tell me, Mom, I'm really proud of you. You keep going and keep doing what you're doing. They even I have grandbabies and my grandbaby, she's like, Nana, I look up to you. I want to be with like you when I grow up. And thanks to her, she's like, you better do that interview because I didn't want to do it because I was afraid. And I was scared. I'm like, you better do that interview, Nana. She's like, you need to do it because I'm proud of you. And I want everybody to see who my Nana is.
Oh, I'm gonna start crying. I mean, that honestly has to be everything. The real thing is the byproduct of the money is so much more powerful than the money itself. I mean, the fulfillment you have and your grandbabies and your daughters looking up to you, it's must that's worth more than $1 million.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, so take people back. I mean, you were a single mom, four kids, working two jobs. I mean, how many hours a day were you working? I mean, to walk us through what life used to be like.
Working actually two full-time jobs. I would work from 7 till 5, and then I will go home, make them dinner real quick, get ready, change, and I will start my other job within the hour. And we'll work till like 3 in the morning, go home, shower, and go to my other job. And then during my lunch, I will sleep for an hour in the vehicle, in my car. And I kept going and going, doing that I did it for a few months. And then I'll stop and then I'll do it again because I would get tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough. It was rough. It was rough. And then just, you know, from my family, just being Mexican, you never see any of this, like people having a business or anything like that. It's like you just have to work, or depend on a man and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not me.
Mm.
I can work and do better. I've always been independent, very independent, hardworking woman.
Yeah,
Always.
and you are a beautiful example of just not giving up and doing what you have to do to provide. And all those years of working two full-time jobs blows my mind. Coming home, sleeping 3 hours, working, sleeping an hour at lunch just to get up and do it again. I mean, that example you set is incredible for your children. But what I think what's even awesomer is, if that's even a word, is what's more awesome is the fact that you took all those skills of resilience and put that into your business. And I think a lot of people see, oh, well, she makes $11,000. What another inspirational part of the story, which we're going to get to, is you didn't build this overnight. You're not one of my students who's like, oh, Mark, I'm making 10 grand in my third month. It's like slow and steady built this race. And I think the point of me saying that is, as difficult as it was, it really, all those moments set you up to be the business owner that you were, because you got to be cut from a different cloth to be a business owner, and not everyone's prepared for it. And so I say that because life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And I think your life unfolded so you can get to this point of being the example that you really want to set for the future generations of your family. Like you said, as a Mexican American, we don't see many Mexican American owned businesses, but you are literally the change that you want to see for your family. And it really was because of all the other things that you had to become to get here. And so, wow, I had no idea this part of your journey, and it's crazy. I mean, what was that moment where you're like, I have to earn more money? Like, talk me through that moment where you're like, okay, like the bills are getting too tight. It's getting too rough. I can't sleep 4 hours a day. So I got to figure something else out. Take me through that moment that really has pushed you over the edge to take this leap of faith.
I just got tired of working two full-time jobs and doing the same thing over and over. I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this, you know? And then me working at the medical field, I was there for almost 15 years, managing 14 locations, managing a lot of schedules, and just I had so much anxiety, sleeping 3 hours a day, 4 hours a night. It's like I can't do this anymore. My anxiety was skyrocket.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to start doing something. And then I ran into you and TikTok. That's where I saw it. It's like, oh, what is this? I started looking into it. I actually became a notary in March of 2022. After that, you had your first conference in 2022. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the conference. I don't know anybody. I don't know nothing about the business. This is actually my first time that I actually flew by myself somewhere. Got on a plane, went to a conference. It was the most amazing thing ever.
Oh, the story gets even better. I want you to hear is like there's a moment where you just had to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know a soul, like you said. You saw a
Nope.
random person on TikTok. You didn't
Yes.
know who I was. You bought my course, then you flew on a plane by yourself. But that's what I want people to be inspired by. Is there's a moment where, like, for things to change, I have to change, and you can't half do something and expect 100% of the results.
Oh yeah,
You
for
went
sure.
all in, and you said it was because of the anxiety. How did the anxiety really affect negatively your family life?
It affected a lot because I wasn't just being me. I wasn't able to, be good with my kids. I would always be like in a bad mood, attitude, not getting enough sleep, and I wasn't just performing myself like I should have been, like 100% of a mom.
I ask that because I think there's this belief that everyone who makes $10,000 a month came from a sales background, came from real estate, had everything lined up perfect. And what makes this business great is if you're willing to put in the effort and the energy and the commitment, it can be whatever you want to be. And like, girl, you're $11,000 a month signing agent when interest rates are 7%. And here's the most inspirational part, everybody, is she gets 100% of her business through signing services. So there's an idea that you got to be direct to make $100,000 a year. So, just let me
All
ask you
signing
this.
services, all of them.
I am not anti-signing service. I am pro revenue. And so I
Mhm.
am pro building a business that works for you and your family. And that's what you've done. But, let me ask this before we segue. If there is another single mom out there watching this right now, 4 kids, working 2 jobs, full of anxiety, feels like they're in a hole. What would you tell them to do? What advice would you help them do to get through that moment to get where you are today?
Never give up and push yourself and believe in yourself. Believe that you can do better.
Hmm. Believe that you can do better. And what I think is cool about you is that sounds cliche, but it's not, because we're going to talk about your income right now. So let's just inspire people. You're on track this year to make $100,000, but it
Exactly.
did not start like that. Your
No.
first month in the business, how much money did you make?
I became a notary in March. My first one was in August. I made $10.
$10. Okay. How much money
$10.
did you make in your second month?
$85.
How much did you make in your third month?
$10 again.
$10 again. So you literally made $100, well, 105 to be exact,
Yes,
first 3 months.
yes.
Okay. I share that because like a lot of people would see that as a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, like, oh, I only made $10. This notary thing on TikTok is not true. Right?
No,
I only made, I had to get a notary commission. I bought Mark's course and I only made $100 in 90 days. This is not true.
yeah.
So why did you stick with it? And that's the inspirational part because if you would have quit after month number 3, you wouldn't be the change you want your family to see. So
Exactly.
how come after 90 days you weren't like, this is so not true. He was lying. You had every excuse you could have used. Why didn't you quit after 90 days?
'Cause giving up wasn't a choice.
It's good.
It wasn't a choice.
Did
You have
you
to keep
real
pushing.
say
You
that
have to
again?
keep push. You have to keep pushing. I mean, you're not going to build a business within a few months or a few weeks. You have to keep pushing, keep creating relationships, and keep going into those networking events and stuff like that.
And so what I heard was, and I hope the students out there who made $10 in their first month, $100 after 3 months is being inspired by this story. So let's talk about the next 3 months in the business. I got my notes here. In month number 4, correct me if I'm wrong, month number 4, you made $200.
$200. Yes,
In the fifth month, in 30 days, you made $365.
that is correct.
And then in your 6 month, month number 6, in 30 days, you made $75.
$75.
So in the first 6 months of the business, 2, 4, you made less than $1,000.
Yes.
How come you did not see this as a failure? How come you didn't give up? And I want people to hear this because too many students expect overnight success. That's not real.
No.
This journey here is something real. So why didn't you give up after 6 months? You're not even, you probably barely recouped the cost of your notary commission, the course, but you're
Exactly.
not like, oh, this is a joke. Why aren't you quitting yet?
I just didn't want to quit. I wanted to be, have my own business and be inspired by other women and people to look up to me and be like, she struggled so much to get there. She never gave up. She was making $10 here, another $10 here, but she kept pushing.
You're part of the Arizona LSS loan signing system
Yes.
community. We have some big hitters, right? How come you weren't discouraged because they were making so much money and you weren't there yet? Why weren't you discouraged? Some people go like, oh, well, they're making money. I'm not. That must mean I'm failing. How come you didn't have that sentiment?
Because my mentality is if they can do it, why can't I? Inspiration. Like if I see them doing this, like they can do it, why can I do it? I can do exactly the same thing.
Say that louder for the people in the back.
If
Like,
they can do it, you can do it too. I mean, it took them a while to build their business too. They didn't build it overnight. It took them months, years to get where they're at right now.
yeah.
And
If
that's where I'm
we,
going.
if we can use others as a benchmark, that just shows me it's possible.
Oh, yes.
If they're doing it, it doesn't mean I'm failing. It means it's possible.
It's
That is the mindset of a soon to be 6-figure signing agent. And that's why I wanted to bring you on is because you were not a barn burner and that's okay. But if I can just get everybody watching this, slow and steady wins the race. You will get
exactly.
where Guadalupe is if you believe in yourself, like she said, if you trust the process, you work the process, and most importantly, you use other people as inspiration. If they can
Yeah.
do it, I can do it. That is so good. I hope everybody heard that. So, I mean, what was the first month you made more than $1,000?
April of 2023.
So that is
I made,
13 months in.
I made 2,100.
So it took you 13 months to pass the $1,000 barrier.
Yes.
That is perseverance. That is believing in yourself. That's trusting the system. That is working the system. That is being inspired by others. It's not being discouraged. I mean,
And I was so happy. I was like jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my God, I made my first $2,000 my own
single
business.
mom,
Yeah.
4 kids, building a 6-figure signing agent business. And what I love was the honest vulnerability earlier. Is like, as a female Mexican American, I don't see examples of business women, business leaders who are female and Mexican, and you're breaking down this for the next generation. And so let's kind of segue into
Mhm.
signing service business. Like, you love it. You're making six figures only with signing services.
Correct.
People think I'm anti signing service. I'm not anti signing service. I'm pro revenue, which you are making a ton of revenue through signing services and
Yes.
relationship. What is it about the signing service model that you like as a signing agent?
I love it that they market their business themselves, and all I do is just wait for my phone to ring, my notifications to come in. I love it. They keep me so busy. It's like my phone's constantly ringing. They're constantly calling me, "Hey, can you do this signing? Can you do this signing?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll be right there. I'll be right there." Love it. I don't have to go out there and market myself. They're doing it already for
Again,
me.
I hope everyone hears that. I mean, look, I'm not anti signing service at all. I am pro revenue. And if you created such a good business model that you have
Mhm.
so many signing service owners who trust you, call you directly, they do all the legwork, then you
Exactly.
make all the money. Like, to me, that's the truest win-win. You service their clients, they do the marketing, you answer a text, and bada boom, you're making $100, $125 a signing, and you don't do anything but just answer the phone calls. And so again, I mean, do I think you should go direct? Absolutely, I do. But that doesn't mean I'm anti building what you built. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think there's a world where you could do both. And so I just want everyone to hear that you can build a successful business only through signing services, and she's going to make 100 grand this year because of it. Anything you want to add to that?
I have really good relationships with escrow officers. I go in there, I chit chat with them. Actually, they gave me their home address, and I drop off documents with them too. We have really good
And
relationships.
all, but here's what I want people to hear.
Okay.
But you drop off docs for them directly, but you're not trying to steal the signing
Oh
service.
no, never.
Why?
Because I have really good relationships with my signing services owners.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. You should never bite the hand that feeds you. There
Never.
is value in creating a relationship with the escrow officer through the SS, because the
Mhm.
SS is going to not only going to feed you that business, but now they trust you so much, they're going to send you other business with other escrow officers. So as soon as you can create that trust, and they know you're not going to quote unquote try to poach their business, and it's
Mhm.
very short term thinking. That's the coaching I want here right now. It's very short term thinking to try to go in and get a client of a signing service, because you might get one client, you maybe not, but you're losing future business opportunity.
Exactly.
And
We
that's what I
never.
want everybody to hear that.
Mhm.
So let's dive into it, right? I mean, I told everybody in the beginning of the video, we're going to get the best tip to help signing agents earn more. I hope everyone enjoyed the past 20 minutes. But let's get in some nitty gritty like advice here. What is the number one piece of advice that you would give a signing agent to build a business just like you have?
Just be yourself and just keep putting yourself out there intentionally, into the community, networking events, and creating relationships with everybody.
You said put yourself in front of the community.
Yes,
What do you mean? Talk about that more specifically to help somebody else.
I have attended a lot of mock signings. I have attended a lot of networking events. If other signing service owners they have events, I go and I help them with their events and just help them promote their own business as well. It's not just
Okay.
all about me; it's about other people and helping other people too.
So the first thing that I heard was be part of the bigger loan signing system community. We have them
Mhm.
all over the place, all over this country. If you want a list of all the places that meetups are, comment down below and I'll get you that list. But what I want to say is you put yourself in the same room with other signing service owners intentionally. I don't think enough notaries do that, especially loan signing system students. Why is that so beneficial to your business?
Because you're creating relationships with them.
If a signing service is trying to promote their business at some one of their networking events for lenders, you're helping them throw their event. You
Yes,
are trying to do as much as you can for the signing service owner, and that's how you're creating these relationships.
yes.
So your piece of advice, and even if you're not part of loan signing system, you can still go to other meetups and other community events. And your advice is you single-handedly believe the majority of your business comes through community meetups. Am I correct or not correct?
That is correct.
And that's what I want
Community
people to hear is that your advice would be like, go to the community events, make
events.
yourself heard and felt, be yourself, and don't be afraid to create those relationships. You're hearing a signing agent who really gives credit to the community on how she's built out her business. And we have over 100 signing service owners that are through LSS. And you've really taken advantage of that. You're looking at a signing agent who's like, Mark, I've built my business off those community events. And how many of the community events do you think you missed
I probably missed maybe like two of them.
in 2 years?
Yes.
That's my
Only two.
point, is like you make it a
Yeah.
point to go. I hope students are listening right now, is you go to one or two sporadically. She's
Mhm.
only missed two in
Yes.
2 years. And so plugging yourself in is such an important part of every business. And now it's gone to other community events outside of the community, but obviously it's a big piece of it. So I love how your advice is plug in the community even more, help them market their business, create those relationships through the networking events. There's no right or wrong way to build a business, but I love your advice. I hope everyone hears this. Go to all the meetups around this country are by signing service owners, by the way, and other signing service owners go to the meetups. So you're meeting multiple signing service owners in one room. Talk to me how you intentionally work every community event. Or what are you doing? Are you going in saying, I'm going to talk to every single person? Like, especially in the beginning, what was walk someone through your game plan?
I was really shy. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I was like afraid. And I just, you know what? I got to step out of my comfort zone, put myself out there, talk to people, just start introducing yourself to them and just volunteering with to events and stuff like that.
She's telling you plug into your local LSS community.
Yeah.
But what I love too, and I want everybody to hear this, and again, no one's ever given this piece of advice. That's why I love it. You got your chops networking in a more safer environment, which is an LSS community event. But
Correct.
then you took those skills and you start going to other real estate events outside. So my point is like you really utilize the group to mature as a businesswoman. And you said I was scared to death in the beginning,
Mhm.
but then you got to a point where you weren't. And then you got to a point where like, man, I can do this at any networking event now.
Yes.
And so you really kind of blossomed in our community. That's what these events are for. They're not only made to get business, but it's also meant for you to grow. And so if you're nervous about networking, start at an LS community where you see friendly faces and go from there. What a great story. I mean, honestly, your story's so good. You got business through the LSS community. You built relationships. It was slow. It took you 13 months to break $1,000. You're now on pace to a six-figure business, being the change for your babies you want them to see. So let's go into the last part of the conversation. You know, you're so inspirational. I mean, you're a single mom, 4 kids, 2 jobs, first-time entrepreneur. First time seeing an entrepreneur in your family, like
Oh
you
my
talked
God.
about building a business from scratch.
Mhm.
If Guadalupe, with all those things stacked against her, right? Life is just stacking up against you, can come out on the other side and build this business this large. Let me ask you the question. Can anybody build this business if you can do it? And why can anyone build this business?
Anybody can build a business if you just put your effort and your dedication into it and believe just keep believing in yourself.
I love it. I love it. And when you say believe in yourself, was that really putting your family at the forefront of it? Like they were the reason this had to work.
Yes. They were the reason. Just see my grandbabies are my motivation to
Mm,
become a better person and keep growing.
love it. Well, let's go into this last part, and again, thank you for your time today. You're here trying to inspire the community, so thank you. Let me end with this. I ask this to every single successful signing agent. If you can look back on your journey, so what would you whisper in the ear of Guadalupe? So 2 years ago to build this even quicker, what would that be?
I would have been like, don't be afraid, do it. Push yourself because I was afraid to even start and just leave my job and start something fresh. I was just scared. I'm like, I wish I would have started sooner.
You said you're afraid of failure. Like, why?
I was just afraid to fail myself and fail my family since I was like, I want to be, entrepreneur. I want to start my own business and starting my business and failing was a big no-no for me. I'm like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to let them down, feel like I was letting them down.
That's deep. I mean, I hope everybody heard that. Is like, you would tell yourself, don't be afraid of failure because
Yes,
failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success.
exactly.
And what I love is your vulnerability of like, I didn't want to let them down.
Hmm.
And what I would say, and I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to unpack that statement is like, Were you scared of being judged by your family and friends if this didn't work?
Yeah. I was afraid for them to judge me. Be like, oh, you know what? She said she was gonna start something and she didn't do it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't like to fail.
So your advice to the younger you is just get out there, get comfortable with being uncomfortable,
Yeah.
build this business.
That's what I tell myself every time. I'm like, Mark always tells you, step out of your comfort zone. You're not going to get anywhere in life if you don't step out of your comfort zone. And that's what I've been doing. I'm like, keep pushing myself to be out there, get out there.
I mean, girl, I mean, you're doing it for the family, you're doing it for the culture, you're doing it for everyone who
Yeah.
says that, women, Mexican entrepreneurs can't make it, for the ones who don't see an example of it. I'm just so proud to be a small part of your journey. The biggest thing that I'm not going to take any credit for is that your tenacity, your perseverance, your consistency, you're not giving up, you're not being afraid to fail. You are the true epitome of believing in invisible growth. You got to believe you're growing even though the income doesn't match it. It took
Exactly.
you a year to build the roots of your $100,000 business.
Hmm.
Most of us won't take a year to build those roots. And Guadalupe, you did. So I am so proud of you. Is there any final words that you want to tell anybody today before we exit?
Just don't give up. Keep pushing. Giving up is not a choice, it's a decision.
Giving up is not a choice, it's a decision. Lupe, I'm so proud of you. I hope I say that enough.
Thank you.
Now knowing your story even more, it makes you even more inspirational. So I can't wait to interview you in a couple years when you're the next Irene out of Phoenix,
Oh,
Arizona. But I'll see you at conference next year, and don't stop. Let's
be
go.
there.
Bye.